Hello and welcome to another Astro Dog Night Sky Guide video. In this edition of our Night Sky Guide, we will be going over what to look out for during the month of June 2025. The month of June hosts the summer solstice, the longest day of the year, and while June hosts the longest days and shortest, brightest nights of the year, it's still a great time to enjoy the night sky. Now we are in the middle of summer, our nights are much warmer. The Milky Way core is rising higher and becoming more accessible for the astrophotographer, and there's the chance of observing the amazing phenomenon of noctilucent clouds, so there's a lot to look out for throughout June. Just before we begin, we would like to say that the following information for the most part is intended for the average stargazer or landscape astrophotographer that lives in the UK and doesn't own a large telescope. If we do cover anything that requires a telescope to observe, this will be mentioned along with the event or subject in question. The following information given also assumes your viewing location is in the centre of the UK at a latitude of around 55 degrees north. This means that details and times given may vary slightly for you depending on your location, but are otherwise a good general guide. All the times given are now in British summertime, thanks to daylight savings that came into effect at the end of March. And one last thing to note is that the depictions and descriptions of the general monthly night sky views are given for times when the sky is at its darkest, with the specific times stated in text along with the graphical depictions. Okay, so without further ado, let's dive in. Sunrise and sunset times throughout June will be as follows. On the 1st, the sun will rise at 4:47 am and set at 9:28 pm. On the 11th, the sun will rise at 4:40 am and set at 9:37 pm. On the 21st, the sun will rise at 4:40 am and set at 9:42 pm, and then on the 30th, the sun will rise at 4:44 am and set at 9:41 pm. Moon phases now. The moon reached its new phase on the 27th of May, so we'll start the month as a waxing crescent. First quarter will occur on the 3rd, full moon will be on the 10th, last quarter will be on the 18th, and the new moon will be on the 25th. As usual, the moon will be paying some close visits to other celestial objects this month, and these meetings will be discussed in more detail in our highlights section. For all the aurora chasers, even though the aurora will be very hard to see with our bright skies, it's still worth heading out on nights when the space weather stats are looking promising. We are also still close to the peak of solar maximum, and because of this, there is the possibility that throughout 2025, even during the brighter months, we may be treated to more auroral displays. Let's all keep our fingers crossed for more great displays, and if you would like to be kept in the loop with regular updates and alerts for possible aurora displays, please follow our Facebook page. For fans of the Milky Way, June is a very exciting time indeed, as the month of June is when the Milky Way core reaches its highest in the sky. This means June is an excellent time to capture the Milky Way core towards the south in the middle of the night. Although the bright skies of June may be quite frustrating for many astronomers and aurora hunters, the months of June and July make up for this with the chance to view the amazing phenomenon known as noctilucent clouds, or NLC. These magical ethereal shimmering clouds reach the highest altitude of all clouds and are created by ice crystals in the upper atmosphere that reflect sunlight. Noctilucent clouds may be seen by anyone in mid to northern latitudes between 40 and 85 degrees north, with those at more northerly latitudes having a slightly better chance of seeing a display. Last year we had several incredible NLC displays, so let's keep our fingers crossed that we have another good NLC season this year. On to general nighttime sights now. Looking towards the north throughout June, the Plough and the constellation Ursa Major are now in the northwest, and Draco the Dragon appears straight above near the zenith in the middle of the night. Perseus and Auriga are now dipping below the northern horizon, closely followed by Gemini and Cancer, that can be seen setting in the west. The asteroids of the Summer Triangle, including Cygnus, Lyra and Aquila, are now much easier to spot high in the sky towards the east, and we are starting to see the return of the flying horse Pegasus rising above the eastern horizon. Looking south, Sagittarius and the Milky Way core can be seen rising in the southeast. The upper half of Scorpius, along with the bright red star Antares, can be seen just above the southern horizon. Libra is climbing higher just to the west of the meridian. Hercules, Corona Borealis and Bootes are high in the sky near the zenith, and the Lion Leo can be seen following all the winter constellations sinking towards the west. General bright planet viewing now. Evening planet Jupiter's observing window continues to shrink, with it only just being visible above the western horizon right after sunset at the start of the month, and it won't take long for Jupiter to disappear from view before reaching solar conjunction on the 24th. Jupiter starts the month in Taurus and will follow the Sun into Gemini towards the end of the month. Although evening planet Mars still remains a little easier to see than Jupiter, its window of observation is also rapidly closing, and by the end of the month, the red planet will be extremely hard to spot, Mars will remain in Leo throughout June. Throughout June, the morning planet Venus will remain fairly easy to spot in the early morning eastern skies just before sunrise and will reach greatest western elongation on the 1st of the month. Although Venus appears furthest from the Sun at the start of the month, it will be easier to spot at the end of the month due to the effects of the morning ecliptic becoming slightly steeper just before sunrise. Venus starts the month in Pisces and ends the month in Taurus. Morning planet Saturn becomes easier to see towards the east during the morning twilight throughout June and gradually moving further away from the Sun, and by the end of the month Saturn will also be shining slightly brighter too. Saturn remains in Pisces throughout June. Evening planet Mercury remains hard to spot, but mid-June around the 13th to 15th offers some fairly good opportunities to observe the often elusive planet above the northwestern horizon during post-sunset twilight. Mercury starts the month in Taurus before racing across Gemini and ending the month in Cancer. Okay, so let's begin looking at our highlights for the month of June. This month we have a great selection of astronomical events to look out for, and kicking off the month will be Venus reaching greatest western elongation. On the 1st of June, the super bright planet Venus reaches a point in its orbit around the Sun known as greatest western elongation. This means that the planet Venus will appear at its furthest distance away from the Sun when observed from our viewpoint on Earth, and will appear 45 degrees away from the Sun. Greatest elongation is usually one of the best times to view inferior planets, but due to the effect of the morning ecliptic becoming steeper throughout June, the end of the month will be the best time to spot Venus. If you want to observe Venus, look towards the eastern horizon just before sunrise on any morning throughout June, and you may be able to spot the super bright planet Venus. On the evening of the 1st, the 38% illuminated waxing crescent moon will appear in between the red planet Mars and Regulus, the brightest star of the constellation of Leo. Look to the west just after sunset for a chance to view this special gathering. On the night of the 6th, the 83% illuminated waxing gibbous moon will appear close by to Spica, the brightest star of the constellation of Virgo. Look southwest from darkness for a chance to see the moon visit Spica. On the nights of the 9th and 10th, the moon will appear close by to Antares, the brightest star of the constellation of Scorpius. Look to the south from darkness to see this celestial pairing fairly low in the sky. The night of the 10th will host the full moon of June, which is known to some as the strawberry moon. Don't worry if you don't get to see the moon on the 10th, it will also appear full on the nights adjacent to the 10th too. On the night of the 17th, the amazing red planet Mars will pay a close visit to Regulus, the brightest star of the constellation of Leo. Look to the western horizon from darkness for a chance to view this pairing. On the morning of the 19th, the 47% illuminated waning crescent moon will pay a close visit to the amazing ringed planet Saturn. Look to the eastern horizon just before sunrise to observe this special meeting. The day of the 21st will host the summer solstice. On this day, those of us in the northern hemisphere will experience the longest day and the shortest night of the year. Summer solstice also marks the start of astronomical summer. For many people, summer is a time of great happiness due to the warmth, growth, new life and abundance that is prevalent at this time of year. For many others, the summer solstice has special cultural and astrological significance, and the solstice is a time to celebrate. For many astronomers whom the short, bright nights can be a source of frustration, they can take solace that from this day onwards, the nights will become slowly longer. Whatever summer means to you, we hope you have a good one, and we wish you all a happy summer solstice. The evening of the 21st, the speedy and elusive planet Mercury will pay a close visit to the bright star Pollux of Gemini. This one will be very tough to observe, but if you want to have a go, look just above the northwestern horizon just after sunset, and you might be able to spot the elusive planet Mercury below the bright star Pollux. In the early morning of the 22nd, the 15% illuminated waning crescent moon will visit the super bright planet Venus. Look to the eastern horizon just before sunrise for a chance to observe this celestial meeting. The following morning, the 7% illuminated waning crescent moon will travel in front of the Pleiades star cluster, which is also known as the Seven Sisters. Look towards the northeastern horizon just before sunrise for a chance to observe this special conjunction. On the 25th of June, the moon will reach its new phase, leaving the skies free from natural light pollution. This means that the nights on and around the 25th will be ideal for viewing faint objects in the night sky and/or taking photographs of the night sky. On the evening of the 26th of June, the extremely slim 3% illuminated waxing crescent moon will appear close by to the bright star Pollux of Gemini and the elusive planet Mercury. Another hard one to spot, but if you want to have a go, look to the northwestern horizon just after sunset for a chance to view this special gathering. And our final highlight for the month of June, on the evening of the 29th, very similar to the 1st of June, the 22% illuminated waxing crescent moon will appear in between the bright star Regulus and the red planet Mars. Look to the western horizon just after sunset to witness this celestial gathering. That wraps up another month, and you can see there's lots of exciting astronomical events to look out for this June, and we hope you all get to enjoy some of them when you're out under the skies. Once again, we'd like to say a huge thank you to all our followers and everyone that has shown their support for our small business. Your support means the world to us, and if you know anyone who you think would like what we do, please feel free to invite them to our social pages and our YouTube channel. We hope you enjoyed this edition of our Night Sky Guide, and we hope this information will help you all in seeing some of the amazing celestial events that we have throughout this June. If you liked this video and found it useful, please make sure to press the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more regular astronomy content, including regular alerts and updates for the northern lights and noctilucent clouds. As always, if you head out to enjoy the night sky at any point in the near future, we wish you all good luck and clear skies.